It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories right now on Local 3.
No matter what was going on in her personal life, if she was murdered, she didn't deserve that.
Day 2 of hearings in the Barry Morpheus murder trial brings shocking new revelations.
That evidence doesn't lie.
The smoke will start to die down tomorrow, but the heat will settle in.
Along with the smoke and the haze, plenty of heat, and tomorrow, even a few degrees warmer.
Plus, as new COVID cases rise each day, concern grows over outbreaks in schools.
And we are in a major surge now as we're going into the fall, into the school season. This is very serious business.
And your generous donations are helping a Littleton woman find a new home.
I'm very grateful to everybody, and I plan to pay it forward. Thank you very, very much, all of you.
Tuesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver 7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. We may not have to endure the brutal smoke and poor air quality along the Front Range for much longer. This is a live look at our Denver 7 roof cam facing west on this Denver 7 Weather Action Day. We start with Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson for more context on the smoke. Mike, it'll start to break up just in time for more heat to move in.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of good and bad here. We will get a little more sunshine tomorrow, fewer particles in the air, but that means more intense sun and warmer temperatures. It's still very hazy and smoky. This is the view right now from the top of the Continental Divide looking to the east from Loveland Ski Area. This is the view looking west from the City Park area in Denver, and this is the map of the smoke. The area is in red, the most intense smoke from Northern California across Colorado. Now, tomorrow, it's not a whole lot better, but it's slightly better. And by Thursday, a little bit better still. Not getting the clear air over the northern plains, but at least it will be somewhat better conditions for us. We have very poor air quality now. Avoid outdoor exercise, hot and dry through Thursday. The storm chances increase this weekend. And with the storms, hopefully we'll clean out some of those particles of smoke from the air and make us all breathe a little easier.
We definitely need that. Thank you, Mike. New tonight at 8, Boulder police want to speak with anyone who might know something about a drive-by shooting in Boulder early yesterday morning. They released these pictures showing bullet holes in windows of homes. This happened on Yarmouth Avenue near 36th. In total, 7 rounds were fired into 4 homes. 2 bullets even entered a child's bedroom. But thankfully, no one was injured. New surveillance video tonight shows the moment the shots rang out. Boulder police want to chat with you if you were a victim or a witness to this. New details emerged today from the preliminary hearing on Barry Morpheus' trial. He is accused of murdering his wife Suzanne last Mother's Day. Today, an FBI agent testified that he believes Barry Morpheus chased his wife Suzanne around the house before allegedly killing her the day before Mother's Day last year. But the defense says the neighbors never heard anything and that the FBI agent's theory is impossible. Denver 7's Russell Haythorne joins us from Chaffee County with the developments.
Yeah, keep in mind Suzanne Morpheus' body has never been recovered. That's partially why we're here in Salida for this preliminary hearing, because so much of the evidence is circumstantial. There is no smoking gun, so to speak, and there are so many questions. What we did learn today is that 2 FBI officers testified on the stand about the evidence they do have that led to the arrest of Barry Morpheus. Barry Morpheus' mom and other relatives enter the courtroom in support of Barry for day 2 of his preliminary hearing. Friends and supporters of Suzanne were here as well.
She was always sweet and nice.
Justice for Suzanne and her daughters, I feel for them.
In court today, former FBI agent Johnny Grusing testifying that Barry Morpheus appeared to go on multiple trash runs the day of Suzanne's disappearance, including throwing things away at an RTD bus stop, a Holiday Inn, a McDonald's, and a Men's Warehouse in the Broomfield area. The agent says Morpheus spent about 40 minutes in the Men's Warehouse parking lot alone.
Couldn't explain what he was throwing away. way.
Telematics data from Barry's Ford truck also shows him opening and closing doors at odd hours the day before Suzanne disappeared and moving around his mountain property in the truck. Grusing also says they found a tranquilizer dart cap in the dryer of the Morpheus home. The agent wrote in the arrest affidavit that Barry was most likely chasing Suzanne around while she was conscious, and that's why Barry's phone pinged in different areas around the house.
That evidence doesn't lie.
But the defense poking holes in that theory today in court, showing evidence that his movement would have been impossible because the phone would have had to move through walls and at speeds up to 42 miles per hour to get from one place to the next if the cell records are correct. Also today, the defense introduced evidence suggesting $70,000 was missing from a garage safe at the Morpheus home, perhaps suggesting Suzanne took the money and ran away.
My heart goes out to all of them. No matter what was going on in her personal life, if she was murdered, she didn't deserve that.
Morpheus was in court again today. His two daughters were sitting behind him. At one point, he turned to them and smiled underneath his mask, and one of them said, "You look so good." This hearing will continue in 2 weeks. We'll keep you posted on that schedule. For now, we're in Salida. Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
Russell, thank you. The Delta variant is growing exponentially in our state. According to the most recent data for the week ending July 18th, Delta accounts for 100% of new COVID-19 cases. Just 3 months ago, Delta accounted for about 10% of all new cases. And here's a closer look at where the numbers stand in Colorado today. We added another 890 cases and 189 additional people have been hospitalized. There are also 5 new outbreaks. Across the country, the main worry remains in our schools. This week, the country's largest teachers union said it will back vaccine mandates for teachers. That is something Dr. Fauci supports.
I'm going to upset some people on this, but I think we should. I mean, we are in a critical situation now. We've had 615,000 plus deaths, and we are in a major surge now as we're going into the fall, into the school season. This is very serious business.
This graph tells the story. After falling numbers for months, the number of children hospitalized right now is at a record high. An 84-year-old woman who was forced out of her home has a new place to stay thanks to our Denver7 Gives viewers. Back in June, we told you about Ethel Runyon. She rented her home for 17 years, but her landlord was ready to sell. On a fixed income and caring for her disabled son, she turned to Denver7 for help. And you really showed up to show your support. Denver7's Addie Guajardo shared your kindness with Ethel today.
It took weeks and countless apartment tours before Ethel Runyon found herself back here at the Heights by Martson Lake Apartments in Lakewood, a place she called home 20 years ago.
I couldn't find an apartment. I hadn't rented an apartment for a long time. And when I went to look, it was very, very expensive. So I didn't know what to do.
On a fixed income and as a caretaker for her 61-year-old son bound to a wheelchair, Ethel felt lost. Until a neighbor stepped in and contacted Denver7.
But it's even tougher for a senior. Now facing a housing market she feels priced out of.
We shared her story, her struggle, her search.
Ethel, you came to Denver7 in a time of need and you told us you couldn't find an apartment within your budget. Our Denver7 viewers were so moved by your story that they donated to our Denver7 Gives fund. And today we have 2 checks for you.
Okay.
One check is for more than $15,000. This will cover your rent for more than a year.
Thank you.
And a second check for $2,000.
Okay, thank you.
That will cover your storage unit for more than a year as well.
All right, thank you very much.
After more than 2 months of worry, the weight of new keys brought relief.
And I appreciate Channel 7 doing this kind of work for people. I'm very grateful to everybody, and I plan to pay it forward. Thank you very, very much, all of you.
Ethel now has a place to call home, and so does her son Scott, after weeks at the hospital.
He's coming home Friday. We're very, very happy. Feels real good. Have a place to live now.
A cozy apartment that fits her needs.
The kitchen's very nice, don't you agree?
And her interior designer side already has a vision.
I have this all figured out.
A new place to make friends.
We are so happy you have joined our community.
And start a new chapter of her life.
I'm happy to have this start for Scott and myself. And I do feel like it's a nice community.
Addie Guajardo, Denver 7.
Ah, what a happy ending. And it is never too late to contribute to our Denver7 Gives General Fund. Every dollar you donate helps Colorado families. Open the Denver7 app and click on the Denver7 Gives section to make your donation now.
Why was this so important to you?
Because it has to be said.
2 whistleblowers raise concerns about the environment at the Rocky Mountain Regional VA.
Unless you're living underneath a rock, you would know that it's discriminatory.
It's a do as I say, not as I do environment.
Tonight, Contact Denver7 takes their concerns to the VA for answers.
Along with the smoke and haze, plenty of hot weather. Tomorrow, it'll be even warmer than this.
Plus, all those masks and gloves we have used over the past year and a half aren't as recyclable as you might think.
It's not economically profitable for waste management companies to bother recycling PPE, so it all ends up as garbage.